We do have team coverage on this storm alert. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo, she's in Beverly Glen. Laura Diaz is in Silver Lake.
We first check in with meteorologist Jonathan Novak.
Well, everyone, this storm is playing out as we expected, bringing a lot of rain and a lot of mudslides to the area, a lot of flash flooding. In fact, right now, there are a couple of areas of real concern that have flash flood warnings that go until 6 p.m. You can see in central Ventura County, as well as in the Topanga Canyon area. And in fact, there's an evacuation warning around Santa Maria Road, north of Topanga Canyon Boulevard. It goes until 9 a.m. Wednesday for this evacuation warning here. You can see additional rain is falling right now. And the reason, of course, are landslides. Imminent or occurring. And in fact, this whole area, the Santa Monica Mountains and up toward where there's a flash flood warning in central Ventura County, have increased chances because of the heavy rain of additional landslides and even more intense landslides. The flood advisories, those are in effect for Santa Barbara and L.A. counties. In fact, it covers all of L.A. County. Goes until 9 p.m. tonight, so additional flooding is possible. You can see even the Inland Empire, which has not gotten too much rain, has at times seen some showers increase to some moderate downpours. And then, in fact, in the mountains of San Bernardino and Riverside counties, there's a winter weather advisory, but that doesn't kick in until 1 a.m. Tuesday. Could see up to 2 feet of snow, over 8,000 feet. That's more in the second half of this storm, though. But the flood watch goes until Wednesday at 10 a.m. Let me show you the short-term forecast, what you can expect tonight for the rainfall. I'm going to bring you in from right now. Notice the rain will essentially take a break for a brief period of time. However, going into the overnight hours, another batch moves in, and in fact, some heavy rain from L.A. County eastward into the Inland Empire, which will be under the gun now, going in through Tuesday for heavy rain through the day. I will detail the rest of this forecast coming up in the full forecast in the 7-day in a few minutes. For now, Christine, back to you.
All right, Jonathan, we begin in Beverly Glen, where it's been a nightmare of nerves for residents after dealing with a massive mudslide just 2 weeks ago. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo's live on the scene with the latest on the flooding situation. Christy.
Yeah, Christine, as you know, the canyons linking the valley to the west side had a lot of trouble during the last storm. There were mudslides that closed roads. There were also downed trees and a landslide here in Beverly Glen. You can see this hillside actually came down and knocked the house off of its foundation. The house, fortunately, we're told, was for sale and was vacant. But tonight, many neighbors here are self-evacuating.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Rain and unsettled ground is causing unsettling feelings for Matt Davis. On Caribou Lane, the red tags aren't the only signs of recent trouble. Heavy machinery is now parked where a vacant house stood before the last storm unleashed a torrent of mud.
It was like 6 avalanches all at once because the slide was so big, and then a huge explosion when the, I assume, house landed on the road.
Allison Dunn was awakened by the sounds and is now kept awake by the rain. This is what it looked like from Skyfox after a neighboring home was knocked from its foundation earlier this month. Dunn, who has lived in the canyon along Beverly Glen for 20 years, has weathered many storms and now worries about weathering more.
Mother Nature's very powerful, so I think we're just waiting for the rain to stop.
Sandbags now line the street, and in recent days, the city has pulled these mud-filled cars out of a smashed carport and cleared what was left of the house that was destroyed. But for neighbors, the empty lot and rain-soaked hills means home no longer feels safe.
We're not staying here. We didn't stay here last night. My wife and I went and rented a hotel.
And other neighbors are also telling us they're not taking any chances and are self-evacuating. And those that are staying have been watching the hillsides. They are seeing tiny little landslides, but are hopeful that the worst is behind them. Live in Beverly Glen, Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
All right, Christy, we'll keep a watch on that, of course. Right here, the 101 freeway in Ventura often sees flooding. This time, no different. Caltrans is telling drivers avoid the freeway between Seward Avenue to California Street. Northbound left lane and southbound right 2 lanes are closed due to flooding. No word when the lanes may reopen.
And take a look at this. Another trouble spot in Ventura, Highway 33, just south of Casita Springs. Runoff is creating a big problem here for homeowners and drivers. Ventura County firefighters, along with Caltrans crews, are clearing the roadway to prevent further flooding. They're also reinforcing the sand berm and adding sandbags.
Not what you want to hear here. Drivers on the northbound 405 freeway are out of luck if they want to exit at Mulholland. A massive sinkhole has shut down the Skirball Center off-ramp until further notice. Blame, of course, the recent rains. Drivers are urged to use the Circle Drive exit as a detour. Drivers on that whole stretch of the 405 should also expect more delays than usual.
Fox 11's Laura Diaz. She's live in Silver Lake, where a massive tree fell, smashing a car, and now a neighborhood there is completely rattled. Laura.
Yes, Marla, it all happened at about noon today. As you look over my shoulder, you can see that massive tree that collapsed at about noon. City workers right now very busy trying to dismantle that tree so they can get to the cars underneath and whatever else they find. But I can tell you that neighbors told me they heard it, that it was very frightening. They're grateful that no one was hurt. Let's let them explain it.
I heard a crash, and then I heard the fire trucks, and then I came out and my car was underneath a tree.
Still a little shaken up.
Yeah, because I've been asking the city for 10 years to trim these trees. They have not done it. They started to this week at the end of the block, and then look what happened.
Stepped out of my apartment just to go grab something from my car when I was confronted with a big yellow tape, and I said, oh my gosh, that's my car. Came around and then realized that this huge tree had landed directly on my brand new car that I just actually got a couple months ago.
So sorry to hear that, but I'm grateful you were not in it.
I'm super grateful about that.
The area was cordoned off as city workers tried to secure the area. Now, under the branches of the tree collapsed, on its side were two cars. Now, you heard Stephanie Ramirez, she was the last woman who just spoke, express shock at seeing her car pinned underneath that tree. Now, some neighbors told Fox 11 that they had called the city for months to trim the branches of the tree, which they thought were hanging precariously low. We cannot prove that allegation through the city. I've not been able to reach anybody there. But I can tell you that people here were very concerned about what took place. As you can listen and hear, they're very busy here trying to take that tree apart. But the good news was that it was a holiday. From what we were able to hear from people in the area, nobody was inside of that home when the tree collapsed, the one right near the tree, and no one was walking by. And one of the women told me that she was just about ready to hop in her car. She was about 15 minutes from running an errand, so it was a close call for her. We will continue to update this story. We do not know specifically if it's weather related, but it certainly couldn't have helped as another storm bears down on Southern California. Laura Diaz reporting live from Silver Lake. Now back to the studio, Christine and Marla.
Wow, we feel for everyone there. Okay, Laura, thank you so much. To our north now, a flood watch is in effect in Santa Barbara County, where officials are taking to social media and warning people to stay away from rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations.